sick, bitch, ill, man, what's the deal, man, yo, just, just dropped my daughter off at the daycare, and I'm heading to the plantation, man, but peep game, man, we gotta talk about this, this Canelo Alvarez thing, man. I wanted to give my input on it for the few people that fuck with me, man. One thing I will say for starters, man, we as boxing fans, we kind of jump at the minute something new gets put out in the media, we jump on it. We jump on it, we jump to all types of conclusions, we formulate our own opinions, and sometimes it don't be what it is that they're making it out to be in the media. So we really need to, we really need to work on that as content creators and just motherfuckers in general, man, just propaganda spreaders. We, I mean, it was the same thing with Canelo and Makabu, oh man, he finna fight Makabu, and then, for the week, for a couple of weeks, everybody was buzzing about that. Then it turned out to be, nah, he ain't one of the front runners. That was Eddie Reynoso who was, who was putting that out there. And then it was what was it? Oh man, he turned down Caleb Plant, so everybody ran with that, and let's just chill for a minute. But it does give us something to talk about. So now that it again gave us something to talk about, let's talk about it, man. I'm gonna be drag out real with you, man. I don't want to see nobody. I don't want to see Canelo fight nobody before he fights Charlo, man. And I think Charlo is the bigger fight. Just being real, Charlo's the bigger fight, because that's the fight that everybody has been clamoring to see for the past few years. Not everybody, but it's really intensified over the past couple of years between Canelo and Jamal Charlo talks. It's really intensified. It's really intensified. So I think that fight for maybe not the hot, maybe not. I mean. That fight for Cinco de Mayo would be the bigger fight. It would be the smarter fight. It'll be the fight that'll do more numbers. Now, Bivol is the harder fight. It's a difference. Charlo's the bigger fight. Bivol is the much harder fight, and I think the more legacy-defining fight. I think Charlo's the bigger fight. Bivol's the harder fight. And what's wild is, from what I'm seeing from people, is the same people that I've seen, talking about Canelo was ducking Charlo, are the same people that said it would be a cherry pick if Canelo chose to fight Charlo based on his last fight with Juan Montiel. And it's like, dude just can't win for, he can't, it's just, he can't win in this situation. And not to mention the same motherfuckers who was saying that, oh well, Canelo picked a over the hill Sergey Kovalev to fight, and he was ducking Dimitri Bivol. Now he's about to go and fight Dimitri Bivol, and it's like, what, y'all mad about that now? Y'all was just saying he was ducking him, and he picked a washed Sergey Kovalev, who was fresh off of a turnaround fight with Anthony Yarde. So now that he's in the scope as a possible fight, it's a bad thing. Now, mind you, if Canelo goes and fights this dude, that'll be his fourth. No, it'll be his. No, it won't be his fourth in a row. It'll be his third in a row, with one tune-up fight in between. Mandatory. So y'all got to start making up your minds, man. Like, don't criticize him for going to fight Sergey Kovalev, and then when he goes and fights Dimitri Bivol, y'all have something to say about that, because he's not fighting Charlo. But then in the same breath say that Charlo is a tune-up fight. Not a tune-up fight, but a cherry pick because of how he looked against Juan Montiel. People spin these narratives or whatever to fuel their point, and it's really getting annoying, man. Even with Bruce Vane, I was listening to a video of him, and I fuck with Bruce Vane, but it was just like, yo, he had, he put some spin on this whole thing. Oh, well, they said Canelo only goes after the cherries or the easier fights, and this and that and the third. It's like, fam, you are one of the ones who want to see him fight Jamal Charlo. You want to see him fight Charlo. You said that a multitude of times, man. So I'm like, what's the deal? Like, what? Like, come on, man. If he wants to fight Charlo, why is that an issue? Why is it, oh man, he's picking the easier fights as a cherry pick? Like, how is it a cherry pick? According to y'all, he's the one more deserving of the fight, and he's the one that's the most threatening in that fight. But now it's a cherry pick. The thing that what really baffles me is this. Charlo had more than enough time to squeeze another fight in last year. He chose to fight one time. And this is the problem with a lot of these cats that y'all push and propagate, man. Because they've reached a certain celebrity status, they're cool with just doing the bare minimum and expecting the world. Like, nigga, no, man. No. Hell the fuck no. There was nothing stopping Jermall Charlo from getting in there and fighting another fight last year after he fought Juan Montiel. There was nothing stopping him from doing that. Nothing. Jermell fought once. I mean, but the thing with Jermell, he fought in a fucking undisputed title match. There was nothing stopping Jermall Charlo from fighting again last year. He didn't want to fight for whatever reason, despite being offered multiple times to fight Demetrius Andrade. He did not want to fight. So if Canelo does decide to fight this dude, y'all gonna have something. Oh man, you making him go up to 168. He only fighting him because of how he did in his last fight. That didn't have to be his last fight. With Juan Montiel, that did not have to be his last fight. That didn't have to be his last fight. He could have fought again. He didn't want to fight again, though, is the thing. And nobody speaks on that. Oh, you making him jump up to 168. What are you expecting Canelo to come down? Why? I'm the top dog. Why do I have to come down after I've already moved up? Y'all want to talk this A-side, B-side bullshit. Motherfuckers want to talk that bullshit as it pertains to, you know, Earl Spence and Bud. All 60-40, 70-30, 80-20. I'm an 80-20 nigga. And y'all back all that shit. All right, cool. Well, now that in this situation, because this is an 80-20 type of fight, Jermall Charlo was bringing nothing to the table with Canelo Alvarez. No belt, no nothing. He's already beat far better fighters. So you're mad at him because he has to move up to go holler at Canelo? No, bro. It's like the dude can't win for nothing. Y'all always have something, you know, goofy, some little goofy narrative to spin as it pertains to him, man. Like, that shit is lame. I personally want to see him fight Charlo before I fight Bivol. But anybody who was talking about, who was saying that Charlo is the more taxing fight between him and Bivol is clearly out of their mind. Jermall Charlo is a 2-division world champion, which is dope. But those divisions are junior and middleweight. They're not at light heavyweight, where them dudes are bigger. And Bivol is a much more technically savvy fighter than Jermall Charlo. He's bigger than Canelo Alvarez. He has all the advantages going into a Canelo Alvarez fight to beat him. And the style. It's not like it's Artur Beterbiev who's going to come forward. Bivol's going to work from the outside, establish the jab, and set traps. According to everybody, not even according to everybody else, that is a style, historically a style that gives Canelo the biggest headache. Charlo doesn't offer that. So how is Charlo the harder fight? It's not the harder fight, it's the bigger fight. There's no bigger fight for Canelo Alvarez at this point in time than Jermall Charlo. It just so happens Eddie Hearn is putting up the biggest bag. That's a 40 to 35%, 40 to $35 million increase between the two offers. I get it. I most definitely get it. 85 M's between two fights? Shit, nigga. I understand it. But I think he should take, you don't need that. You need it. But you're already, you're already the highest paid boxer, man. That deal is going to be there. That deal is going to be there. Go get that Charlo work. You deserve a lighter touch. Because I think Charlo's the lighter touch. I do. I do. Everybody's complaining about Canelo. Oh man, look, he's beatable because of how he's looking against cats who are, counter punchers and outboxers. You dig? They have the faster feet than him. All right, cool. Well, I'm gonna put up this high guard. I'm gonna walk you down and I'm gonna stop you. He's gonna look a lot more like Danny Jacobs if he gets in there with Jermall Charlo. He's gonna be a lot more elusive in the pocket. He's gonna be slipping and rolling up under shots and countering him to the body with them hooks. He can use his more powerful bent arm punches than as opposed to having to really work off and operate off of the jab to close distance. Charlo's gonna meet him in the middle of the ring. Y'all dudes do not get it, man. Y'all are clueless when it comes to boxing, and it's annoying because it's about narratives being pushed. That shit is lame, man. That shit is lame as fuck. I see nothing wrong with this fight. Why? Because there is nothing wrong with this fight. This is a damn good fight if he decides to fight him. What I don't want to see is a trilogy with Golovkin. I don't want to see that. I do not want to see that. You can replace Golovkin with goddamn Andre or something. You can do that. We'd much rather see that. Replace Golovkin with Demetrius Andre. Shit, replace Golovkin with Carlos Gongora. I don't want to see another Golovkin, man. Golovkin has never fought outside of, 160. And you talking about what? He fought Zarameda. What was that? 2020? Was that 2020? A year and a half layoff, man, and he's still trying to get this Ryota Murata fight over the line, man. He's been inactive, and you were expecting him to get in the ring with a Canelo Alvarez who is rolling right now, who has stopped his last 3 opponents, 2 of them being undefeated world champions, and completely broke the arm of another undefeated world champion, the most highly rated boxer in the division at the time, with the best accolades. I don't want to see him versus Golovkin. I don't want to see that fight. That shit. That's what's really bothering me more so than anything. I don't want to see the Golovkin fight. I don't. I don't want to see Bivol more than Charlo, but I understand Bivol because that's a more difficult fight. But I definitely don't want to see a Golovkin trilogy. There's some other middleweight. I would not mind seeing you versus Carlos Gongora. I would not mind that. He's a dude that's on the come up, and he's due for a big fight. Let him get Gongora before he gets Golovkin. Gongora's been in the division before. He's been fighting at 168 pounds. Golovkin has not. That's my biggest beef with this deal. I don't want to see a trilogy with Gennady Golovkin. I don't. Can we please not do that? There has to be another way. So yeah, all in all, man, that's my spill on it, bro. Like, Charlo's the bigger fight, but it's not the more difficult fight. I want to see the Charlo fight. I was kind of looking forward to seeing him really just shut up, the detractors. Honestly, man, I was really looking forward to that. And it's a good fight. Like this year, what I want for Canelo, which doesn't matter, but it should because I'm a consumer, because I'm gonna buy the fights. I want to see him fight the motherfuckers that they have been saying he's been ducking for the past few years. That's who I want to see Canelo fight. And it's perfect. 2 fights in 1 year. After you done fought 4 times in between last December and December 2020 to December 2021. You went undisputed and you cleared the entire division. I want to see you fight the dudes that they've said have been ducking you, which is 3 motherfuckers in particular. So you knock Charlo out first, and then you get the winner of Andre and not Bivol, but Benavidez, if they get past Zach Morrison and or Zach Parker and David Lemieux, which is everybody is expecting them to. Survival of the fittest. I think you should do that and then move up, because at that point you ain't got shit else to prove at 168 pounds. You ain't got a fucking thing else to prove. That 85 million is gonna be there. That 85 M's is gonna be there. It ain't going nowhere. So go. I think I would rather you do that. That's the route that I would rather you take, man, because I think it's the doper route. I don't want to see. I don't want to see a third Golovkin fight. I honestly do not want to see that. I'm so cool on that. Even, I mean, Golovkin may not even make it out of that fight, man. We may see Golovkin on the canvas. We may see Golovkin in a state that we have never seen him before. We seen him hurt against Derevianchenko, which it happens, is boxing. Derevianchenko was giving him hell. I don't think he's ever fought somebody as fleet-footed as Derevianchenko at that time. Derevianchenko was cutting all type of angles. He was real active in the pocket. He clipped him to the body and spin out, and that was really giving Golovkin fits. So it's plausible. He got hurt to the body because of the like. It is what it is. It is what it is. But we did see him hurt to the body in that fight. At this point in time, the way that Canelo is punching, he seems to be stronger in the higher divisions. That's not even a 50-50 fight. That's like 70-30, 80-20 at this point in time, and you've been inactive. So I don't want to see that. I really hope you decide to say, let me clear out the division this year. Officially, he's already cleared out the division. But let me get at these individuals that they claim that I've been ducking. Let me get at them, let me step on them, and then we gonna go up there and we gonna go holler at Bivol and Better BF. That's what I think that's the more logical thing to do. All that fluctuating in weight, man. We seen what how that affected Roy Jones. I don't want to see you witness to that shit. And dig, you're killing shit right now. Just gradually move up. You jumped up once to light heavyweight, then jump back down. That's what's up. And maybe you have your genetics can allow you to do that without without losing something, without feeling a certain type of way when you drop back down in weight. Maybe I don't know. Maybe your body operates better, than most motherfuckers, and you can do that. I don't know. Maybe it operates better when you do that. I don't know. But you still got your youth on your side, so and even if you do decide to, take Golovkin and Bivol, they're still, by the grace of the Creator, they're still next year. So the Charlo fight isn't 100% out of the running. But I just want to see you. I want to see you get everybody at 168 out the way. The ones that they're saying that has been ducking you. And I just feel with Charlo, that's the easier fight. That's the less taxing fight, and you've been in some big fights over the past year. So go get that. Go holler at Charlo, man. Please go fight Charlo. Please go fight Charlo, man. Please go fight Charlo. And I'm not mad at Bivol, but I just want to see you fight Charlo. I honestly do. So that's just my spill on it, man. Y'all like and subscribe and let me know how y'all feel. Peace.